Hi guys, on today's episode of Playground, I have with me Jason Richardson, who is 28 years old, a fitness trainer, and a sports card collector. Jason, how are you?
Man, I'm good, Prasanna, man. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to chat today, man.
Yeah, no problem. So I actually met Jason through D-Rock's post. D-Rock is a photographer and videographer for Gary Vee, and I commented on his post saying that I'm looking for guests. So Jason, I wanted to ask you, like, what made you reach out to my podcast? What made you want to be a guest on this podcast?
Great question. I love how D-Rock does that, where he opens up his page to let everybody network, and that same reason, man, networking. I think is so cool to meet other people. Learn about their journey, their backgrounds, and I think all of us have something to offer each other. So, I saw that you were looking for guests, and I said, why not hop on? Like give me my chance to tell my story. I learned the process. I learned from you in the process, and just so many good things that come from it. Content, ideas. Somebody's gonna watch this. We're gonna help somebody in a way, and they're gonna spread ideas. Like it's always good to make a connection. Like that's the biggest, deepest answer, I guess.
I like that. I like that because it's like it's
Yeah,
a community, and then we had to help our community, people with
exactly.
those, and we create a community to it. Uh,
Perfect. Yep.
yeah. Next question I have, I want to like just dive in. So, where is home for you, and where did you grow up?
Home for me is the Bay Area. I live in a small town called Pinole. On the map, I'm like 20 minutes from San Francisco. Yeah, so I grew up here. I never lived anywhere else, and yeah, I'm a Bay Area kid, man. So the big Raider fans out here, Niner fans, Bay Area music, E40, Mac Dre, all that derives from here.
Wow. Okay. And
Yeah.
what did or do your parents do for a living?
My mom, love my parents. My mom is the sweetest, kindest person. Like, man, she's awesome. She has been in special education since I before I was born, so it has to be over 30 years. Still does it. She's good at what she does. And my dad, he used to move furniture professionally, and then he used to work um, for a tow company for Caltrans. The state uh, company that helps on the highway get the
Yeah.
cars off the highway, operates all that. Yeah, he used to do that. He's been injured, so he's been out on work. But yeah, that's what he grew up doing, and love my dad too. He's taught me a lot of lessons in life.
Great to hear. So, as a child, like in California, what would you say you were curious about?
As a child in California, what was I curious about? Man, so much. Like we love sports in elementary school, man. Me and my brother, friends, always playing sports, always just curious about athletes and teams and cartoons. I'm a cartoon kid, Nickelodeon. Uh, so much of those things, man. And um, like I guess, yeah, man. There's so much curiosity as a kid that I would just like I would wonder about, like I still wonder about. But I guess we'll touch more on that too. But yeah, dude, like I'm still curious about sports. I'm still curious about cartoons, Dragon Ball Z, everything.
And I mean, I got that. So, did you play any sports when you were like a child?
Yeah, we get hardcore, man. At Elsa Brown Elementary School, playing football, foursquare, kickball, you name it. I didn't play any team sports,
Mm-hmm.
like football, basketball, baseball as a kid, but I grew up in martial arts. I still train in martial arts. I did that since the age of 8, so like 20 years now,
Wow.
and competed, traveled, got my black belt. And yeah, so that was like one of the biggest things in my life that taught me everything: how to be a leader, how to be strong, confident, teamwork, work ethic, hard work, all that. It's a lot of it's from karate, and the team aspect of just helping your teammates and pushing each other in class day in and day out from the age 8 through my teenage years and early adult, man. It's been beautiful.
Interesting you bring that up because I also did taekwondo as a child, and I was a black belt as well. And like when
Nice.
talking about like the self discipline and like they don't just teach you
Yeah.
how to fight; they teach you how to like control your emotions, control your body, and like it's very personal development oriented. So like I wanted to ask you this, like, how do you feel like when you're like going through the motions of martial arts, and like, how do you feel? Like, could you put that feeling into words?
How do I feel like going through the motion, like the actual training?
Yeah, yeah.
Man, now, how many years did you train for, by the way, Prasanna?
So I did it when I was like elementary school and middle school, but then I stopped because we had to move around. So I got my
Yeah,
black belt and then I stopped. So I
yeah, yeah,
forgot everything, like the physical stuff I forgot, but like the mental stuff, all that is still there. Like, it's still helping me.
yeah. So you at least did 5 years. Sounds like
Yeah,
six
yeah, yeah,
years.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
At least five.
So yeah, I would not kick with you, dude. I don't kick with Taekwondo. You guys can kick. But yeah, man. Well, like when you get good at something, things are just second nature.
Mhm.
Things just automatically happen. The muscle memory, like all that is still there. Like it's just natural things that come. But I love it, man. I still have fun. I still have fun hitting the bag. I still have fun teaching it. Like I used to teach a lot of kids and teenagers, and now I mostly just teach adults through my personal training, and they love the kickboxing, man. And to pass them along, even the basics, man, to pass them along the basics of what I learned, like a jab cross and a simple roundhouse, and to see their eyes light up and be like, "Oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing!" Like I love doing that, man. I love recording myself, trying out combos, and being like, wow, that was a cool kick. That was a cool kick combination. Going back on film, you're like, all right, let me try this. And I love it, man. I still have fun with it. I think it never gets old, even now. Even at 28, 20 years of doing it, like it's fun. Even the second nature of it, trying to make my footwork better, even the little tweaks, I think that's what really keeps it interesting, is always trying to make that little tweak, like how a basketball player gets their jump shot a little bit better. It's the same thing, man. Same exact thing.
So you mentioned that you thought like you're teaching kids and young and adults. So like, what was the difference between like your kid learning the martial arts versus an adult? Like, was the kid more enthusiastic about it? Like, how did a kid approach martial arts compared to how did an adult approach martial arts when you taught them?
Great question, man. So as a kid, well, for me and my brother, I'll just give an example. Me and my brother, we want to do karate because we wanted to be Dragon Ball Z
Yeah.
characters. We want to be ninjas, Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles. Straight up, that's what we wanted to do. So you have that as kids who really just want to be ninjas, and then you also have kids that need it because their parents are like, I need my kid to be active. I need my kid to learn some discipline. So you also, oh, let me put this on silent. You also have that um, where the parents are doing it because they want their kids to be, active. And the parents are trying to get something for their kids to have a positive impact in their life with it, right? And so as adults, it's a different approach. Like they're like, hey, I want to train because I want to lose weight, right? So it's more for them in a sense too. So like, hey, I want to lose weight. I want to do something fun. Stress relief. Kids aren't talking about stress at 8 years old, 9 years
Yeah.
old. But as adults, man, like it's a big stress reliever. I think that's so huge. I say this a lot. It's fun giving people nice butts and big arms and a six pack and things like that. But the beautiful part about being a fitness trainer and teaching martial arts for adults is that it helps them smile. It helps them feel more confident about themselves, even as a kid. But as adults with the pressure of just work, life, everything, it like that puts a big smile on my face, and it gives me a big purpose to be like, all right, I'm helping this person, build even more confidence. Even though they have the most confidence in the world, just that much more. I love that, man. I can't say enough about it.
I want to go back to it, but I wanted to ask a quick question before. So you mentioned like you want to be like
Yeah.
a Power Ranger, Ninja Turtle, like Dragon Ball
Oh
Z.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like, as a child, what did you want to become, and like, why were you so interested like in that cool like kicking ninja kind of lifestyle?
Yeah, man. Like that's what we would watch on TV. Superheroes. You just want to be. You just see that like this is the strongest, coolest thing you've ever seen in your life. How can you? What's the closest way you can get to being that? It's karate, right? And me and my brother did some crazy things, man. In wrestling, I'm not a big wrestling fan, but we would act like wrestlers at school because they're superheroes. These guys are on TV, everything. Me and my brother would slide on socks on our hands, Prasanna, and we would think that was actually boxing gloves, and it would cushion our hands enough, and we would just have a real boxing match with socks on our hands, man. And Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, we loved it. We loved it so much, and yeah, like that was something I wanted to be. Also, Me and my brother are big Michael Jackson fans. Huge, dude. Like, I can do every Michael Jackson move. I can watch every video over and over. I still have the VHS tapes that my mom recorded of the MTV videos. Remember that when MTV used to actually play music videos? Yeah, man, I got that on VHS of Michael Jackson. Me and my brother, the easiest kids to watch. All you had to do was pop in a Michael Jackson video. We'd be busy for the next 6 hours. Literally, it was just that easy. So that's one of the things I was very curious about too, was how do I become more like Michael Jackson? Like it was like I loved it.
I see a common theme here, like with Michael Jackson and like with karate martial arts. You are very in tune with your body and like how you
Oh
get
yeah.
your body to express yourself. And like I love
Yeah.
because you're doing that right now. And like when you describe martial arts, like you're teaching it to other people, like when you're like second nature, it feels like you're having fun with it. Like it's like play. It's like you're having
Exactly.
a little child still like having fun with it, still like learning about it. And I think
Exactly.
that's beautiful right there.
Man, you said it, man. That like it's so crazy, right? Because you know, as we grow up, we think sometimes when we make money, it has to be about the money and it has to be something hard. You can still make money. It can still be hard, but you can still also have fun and play at the same time. Like I'm playing every day, Prasanna. Like every day I'm having fun and playing. And I'm like, dang, people pay me for this, you know? Like, but it's like I'm having fun with it, and they feel that, and it's attractive, and it's addictive, and it's contagious. So I love that word. I'm playing every day. Yep.
It needs to happen too, because like when you explain like with the adults that you teach, where they having that stress, like I'm pretty sure when they train by you, they're having fun. They're like they're at the playground. They're just like having fun, playing around, and like a little child. And I love what you do. Like you're spreading. It is very contagious. Like a smile is very contagious. Laughter is very contagious. And I love that mission that you have in life, and like how you bring that to your profession. I think that's very remarkable.
Yeah.
The next question I got is like goes back to the superhero thing. So like if you could have like any superpower in the world, what superpower would you want and why?
Oh man. What superpower would I want?
Yeah.
Dude, probably to teleport, man. I think I posted about this before. I think it's the most greatest. I don't want to read people's minds because people are shady too. So I don't want to be sitting there reading something shady like, ugh, this guy's shirt stinks or something. Like, I mean, that's not like, dang, I really thought about that. But no, but yeah, dude, I think teleportation, because I would never have to pay for an airfare. If I want to be like, I want to go like to Atlanta, like we could do this in person. Boom, yo, what's up? Let's do this. Like, I think that's so cool. Pop it anywhere in the world, and like Dragon Ball Z also showed me that too, because they would do this thing where they put their hands in their head like this, and they would just teleport to another dimension, and I was like, that is so cool. Like you can be anywhere, any time, man. A concert, you know, if Michael Jackson have a concert, I could just shoot, I'm in the concert. You know, I love Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne's performing, shoot, I'm there. So I think that's cool. Flying is cool too, but you know, you got to deal with the weather. You got to, you know, there's airplanes in the sky, and I don't know, man.
This is very fast and efficient.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Time saver.
So the next question I have is also like it's a little hypothetical. So if you could go back in time and like visit younger Jason, what advice would younger Jason give you to the person you become today? So not what advice would you give him, but what advice would he give you?
So younger Jason to me, right now.
Yeah.
Man, younger Jason would tell me, the 28-year-old Jason, like, you know, stay fun, stay positive, keep being a kid, never grow old. Like, just like this feeling you have right now, you're going to feel this even at a more mature level, at a more focused level when you're 28. You know, like you're not going to lose interest in the things you still love now. You know, being active, playing sports, martial arts, Calvin and Hobbes comics. You're going to get even more into that. You're going to get more into comics. And also, when sports cars come around in 2020, you better jump on and be aggressive. That's what I would tell him. The sports cars is crazy right now.
That's actually what I wanted to talk about next. Is sports cars. Like, where did that fanatic or like the fan for like having sports card come about, and like how do you feel like collecting them as an adult? Like, does it compare to when you were like a child, like trying to find the right? Could you explain that process?
Yeah, man. So I mean, you know, like I was saying, like superheroes, athletes is another element of that superhero kind of persona.
Mm-hmm.
No play on words with your name. I like how that works though. But but yeah, Kobe Bryant was somebody I always looked up to. Derek Jeter, just watching my favorite teams play. And Gary Vee, you follow Gary Vee. Gary Vee's been talking about sports cars, and I was like, man, this is a cool way to get re-engaged into professional sports, get closer to it, look at it from a different angle, and there's money to be made in it. I was like, man, I gotta research it, I gotta learn about it, and try to do my best in it. And it was scary, man, making putting money down like that for something I've never done before. I've never invested in stocks or anything like that. But to be like, this might grow, it might. Like, it's not for sure, right? It's like it might grow. And I'm putting down my first major investment was like $650, man. I'm just
Wow.
like, I don't have a card next to me, but like I'm like holding this card. Really? I paid $650 for this right here. And it was a good move, man. It's that 650, no joke. Prasanna turned to 7,000 now,
Wow.
10 months later.
Wow.
Yeah, or 11 months later now. So yeah, it's crazy, man. So it's cool, and I always try to make content around it just so I can pass back what I was taught and try to help other people get on and use their sports knowledge and play along. So
That play along too, like when you described like that risk of like putting down 650 or how much it was for that one card, how did you like take that risk? Because I'm pretty sure you felt stuffed out, like feel like, am I doing the right decision? So how did you like play with that emotion, and how do you like finally like say, I'm doing this, make that committed decision?
yeah, like it all goes back to growing up as a child in martial arts. And this from you said it in Taekwondo, man. It's
Yeah.
so much about discipline and confidence. In martial arts, you gotta believe in yourself. Like when you make a move, you're in the ring, you're throwing a technique. It can't be, half-hearted. It has to be like, I'm gonna do this, right? I'm gonna make this move. I'm gonna train hard because I got a tournament coming up. I don't want to lose, right? I'm gonna invest my time. I wasn't investing money like that. My parents or my coaches, like they were putting their money into it. But like I felt that like, all right, people are invested into me. I need to give back the return of what I'm putting in and what people are putting into me. Same thing with cars. I was like, this is risky, but I have guts. I have confidence in myself. If I lose, I lose. Right? I'm gonna learn.
Yeah.
If I lose, I lose. I'm gonna learn. And also like basic things of just learning how to I don't like to call myself an entrepreneur yet because I don't really own anything. I kind of just do a lot of side hustling with the personal training. I'm on my own, like at a little lower level. I do want to be a gym owner, but like even as a kid, as a teenager, I was always setting up my own sessions, right? Like making my own money. So that helped. Then doing garage selling, how to learn how to buy something for $1, turn it to 5, 10, 15, 20, even 100. Like that helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And selling on eBay, like people are actually buying stuff. Like, well, okay, this is real, and that just all turned into sports cards.
So do you have fun with it? Like
Oh
that
yeah,
yeah, that
yeah,
I wanted to hear that. Of course, you had fun.
yeah, man. It's fun. It's because you don't know what's gonna happen. You can predict, you can project all you want, but like the card market is doing better than anybody expected. Nobody expected to be doing like there's the money that I've seen come back. I didn't expect to see that until like 3 years. I was trying to build that patience. Like, okay, I'm gonna see this 3 years from now, but it happened within a year. Some cards, what I project would happen in 2 years, have happened within a few months. It's crazy, man.
So
And
like
yeah,
I love what you just said, like with the unknown, like you don't know what's gonna happen. Because
yeah,
me, I had the most fun, or like I feel the most alive when I have no idea what's gonna happen in the next year or what I'm gonna be doing in
mm,
the next year or so, because there's so much like unknown there. Like I could be doing one thing, I could be
right,
doing a million other things. But like
right,
in life, like if you know exactly the next step and everything, it gets boring. And like as a child, you really didn't, like every single day you woke up and you just the entire day's yours. You could do whatever you wanted to do that day, and the
yeah,
only limitations is the limitations you put on your imagination. And I feel like
exactly,
having that same like aspect, having the same outlook on life, like as
yeah.
an adult, helps a lot. So like, do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah. Yeah, man, you gotta stay curious. That's why I'm a huge Disney fan. Love Disneyland, man. I had a season pass couple years. The last two times I went down there, everything's closed. Disneyland's closed. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, man. By the way, it's my brother's gym. I like to rep it. It's near down there in SoCal. But yeah, like the last few times I've been there, I'm like, man, I really did not go to Disneyland. That's the first in a while that I've been in this area and I didn't walk into that park. But I love Disneyland for that reason. Like I surround my house with Disneyland characters, with Michael Jackson, comics, because I like that feeling of staying curious, adventurous, being an artist, being creative. You know, when you're creative, you like you said, like you don't know what's going to happen, but you can write the next chapter, right? You can create something good in your life if your hands and feet are going to work. And like I just always want to be curious. I always want to taste things. I always want to try things, because I don't want to have no regret, right? I don't want to look back and say, oh man, I should have did. Same thing with sports cars. Now we speak about regret. I did not want to regret seeing that I didn't go for it, right? Like I would have been mad at myself if I didn't go for sports cars today. So, you know, I believe you taste your curiosity, you won't have that pain or regret later.
Mhm. So, like, do you see that pain? Do you see that regret with the adults that you train, or like with other people, like in your life, or like in society in general? Because personally, as a college student, I kind of see many people taking there's two routes now, and many people taking the most safer route, the more comfortable
Mhm.
route, but they get like a good job, good paying job, and then like they settling. But then there's
Yeah.
another route where like they could follow their passions, creativity, imagination, like take all the risk, but this it's unknown. So like, do you see
Right.
that? I'm just curious, like as an adult, like training adults, do you see that in them, and like how do you like balance that really with what do you think?
Yeah. I definitely see that. Um, you know, like they, you know, people always wish they could have done something different. And like I try to just tell them like, hey, we got right now, you know, to do something different and take advantage of the now, especially with the internet, you know, like especially with careers, right? People are always like, oh, I should have done this, things like that.
Yeah.
With the internet, man, I think it's endless, you know, like you got the internet, you can do anything. And people, how old are you, Prasanna?
I'm 21.
21. Yeah, so you see that for sure, dude. People in their 20s, like they don't want to regret, but they also don't want to take the risk. And it's like, just take the risk, especially when you're 21.
Mm-hmm.
Like I took a lot of risks when I was 21. I'm like, man, I could have took more. That's why I'm still doing it at 28. And I still see people at my age who are just like, I think I posted about this yesterday, where you don't know what's gonna happen. You're not supposed to have everything figured out. Like you're just not going to have that in your 20s, and that's fine. You shouldn't judge yourself on that, and don't let anybody else make you feel that way. You know, um, take the risk. Like I can't say it enough. Take the risk, because the the excitement of the risk, the rewards of the risk, the learning of the risk is just 20,000 times better than not doing it at all. Like that's just how I feel.
I 100% agree with you. Agree with
Yeah,
that, because the risk is the reward. Like if you want a reward in life, you have to take the risk, or else you
got
don't
to.
get any reward. Yeah. So like going off of that and like trying to think into the future. So like how do you see yourself like carrying that curiosity, taking the risks, like 5, 10 years into the future? Like you said, you wanted to create a gym. So like how do you envision
Mhm.
that gym to be different than other people's gyms? Like what do you think is like the thing that you want? Like what are you looking for right now? What do you desire right now?
Man, that's a good question. You know, the way I would do it for the next 5 years, 10 years is, you know, to do the small things that I can do. I think sports cars is really going to help me start a gym, because it's like I put so much money into it, and that's what it takes to do a gym. Like that anxiety and that scaredness, it happens, it comes, and then you have to get over it, right? Like I felt that so many times in my life training for a tournament. Like, oh my gosh, I'm scared of, like, I don't know who I'm gonna fight. And then you come to peace with it. You're like, it's not that bad. The more you do it, you're like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. And that's the same thing. When I know I'm gonna start my gym, is like I'm terrified for something. Like I'm like, dang, dude, really starting a gym, the overhead, getting people through the door, daily hustle. Like I'm saying that now on camera, like that is scary. But once I know, I just know once I'm in it, it's just gonna be like, I'm in it. Let's go. I'm excited. Let's make this happen, you know. And just facing your fears, I think I have to live by that for the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I have to face my fear. Even if it's scary, go do it anyway. Like that's just what I have to do. So
I like that, like with action, like if you take action, then
action. Yeah.
action is like cures, doesn't really cure it, but like it turns down the anxiety, the negative feelings, the doubt you feel, because the more action you take, the more confidence you build in self. Like many people think that motivation comes first and then you take action, but it's actually the other way around. The
Right.
more action you take,
Right.
the
Right.
motivation, the more confidence you build.
Exactly.
That
Exactly.
yeah,
Action is everything, man.
action is
Action is everything.
that's what Taekwondo
I say
taught me.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I say that with when people are trying to lose weight and getting stronger, like you can't motivate yourself to lose weight. You can't motivate yourself to get fit. You just need to start showing up to the session,
Mm-hmm.
start lifting the weight, start getting tired, start sweating, and I promise you, like start eating better, actually eating better. I promise you, like I guarantee you're going to get the results. You have to do the work, you gotta do the action. You can't say like if any of us rely on motivation, man, that's a bad plan because motivation can never come. But action is always our choice. Always our choice. So
What's the biggest obstacle that your clients usually face, and the biggest obstacle that you help them with, like regarding like motivation, personal development, or like becoming a better individual?
yeah, that motivation one alone is probably the biggest one.
Mhm.
And like I'd love because even like me as somebody who's fit, I work out, I'm not motivated every day. I
Yeah.
straight up I'm not. But I always tell them like it's my job when you come here to make sure you're glad that you came. Like you're just pumped that you came today. So I'm gonna do my job. I promise. I'm gonna do my job. I'm gonna make sure you felt like you had the best experience, and that's gonna carry you to tomorrow, right? So that motivation, like it can carry throughout the whole week and carry throughout the whole month. But yeah, man, like I just tell them every time, like, don't quit, just keep going, keep going. Might not be motivated today, but when you see that, that scale get number on the weight loss get lower, you're gonna be motivated. Or those pants you haven't been able to wear in 2 years, you're gonna be motivated. Or that body that you had before you had 3 kids and it comes back, like, yeah, the motivation is gonna come. So, and like that's the best advice, man, is just action. Like I don't even know if there is a better word sometimes or better advice.
I agree.
So
Like what
yeah.
you said, like how it's contagious, like when people come to you, and like I could see from the energy you're giving off in this interview and like how you approach this entire thing, you're very like outgoing, you smile a lot, you laugh a lot. Like I could imagine like a client like looking forward to being your client because they had like a depressing day or whatever, but like going to this
Mhm.
thing, it's like it's a routine, it's action, but like it's
Yeah.
fun, and like they able to like interact, and like it boosts their spirit of kind of thing too. Like it's very contagious too. Like action becomes like after you take some action, it becomes contagious if you include like happiness, smiling, laughter with it, and like have a like
Yeah.
little childlike spirit with it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm not gonna say any names, him or her, but I was training him or her yesterday,
Yeah.
and this person was like, they had a bad morning, woke up wrong, just unfortunate events, and then they were kind of snappy at the beginning of the training. I'm like, I'm just gonna be me, I'm just gonna be me, and then by the end of training, laughing, having a good time. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Like I love that. At the moment they probably haven't noticed that that's happening. I'm sure they do. Like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling a lot better. But that right there is like that's one of the things fitness and being a trainer is all about. Is just helping people get out of funks, feel better about themselves, confidence, and just dealing with the emotion but overcoming it with something positive. Something strong. So
Going off of that, like this is something I learned personally, is that before we could help someone else, we had to help ourselves. So like before we could
yeah,
like change the world, we had to change ourselves. We had to change how we like change how transformation ourselves, and like go do it ourselves before we could tell someone else to do it. So like as a fitness trainer, like what transformation did you go through that made you want to become a fitness trainer and like help other people achieve their level of happiness? Like what lows did you go through to help you become
yeah.
the person you are today?
Yeah, man, that's a great question. Like, how you said you see it, like I'm like outgoing, I'm smiling. Like I always been smiling, a smiling person, fun. but I'm naturally an introvert, man. I'm naturally an introvert. Like deep down inside, I'm naturally an introvert.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you can still be an introverted trainer, but for where I wanted to go and what I wanted for myself, I want to be more outgoing. I want to be more connected to people. I want to relate to people at a deeper level. I want people to feel excited, more energetic. So I knew like I had to work on that. And before I even like that came along just through training and teaching martial arts. Like, you know, seeing my instructors, like they were so good. Like, man, these guys are good. Like, how do I get that good? I had to start teaching. I had to start stepping up. I had to start using my voice, and it just grew. And I stopped being this shy kid to more confident, more vocal, more confident how I stand, how I walk, how I talk. And you know, I do that every day. I make sure I'm keeping that same kind of strength, and it rubs off to other people. So, you know, like I'm completely comfortable with people leaning on my confidence and my belief. They don't have it, like lean on mine, because I got it all day. Like something's bothering you, you don't feel confident, like I lean on my confidence then, because I got it for days. That's how I like to carry myself. And you know, of course I go through hard things in life. I have a life, you know, where fortunate events happen, things happen, challenges. But you know, as a leader, and as somebody that wants other people to face challenges and overcome them too, I have to live by that. I have to be like, all right, I have this challenge in my life, but I also have to have a good perspective on what I'm looking at. Like gratitude is so big. You know, one of the things like I think about a lot is like, why did I get to be born in this generation? You know, even with all the unfortunate things happening in the world, in our country, you know, politically wise, social wise, like I have to also take into fact that, you know, like I am born right now in this era with the internet, and I'm in America. Like, man, like there's people that are in other places that don't have it. Like they would love to have my problem, man. I think that right there kind of humbles me, and you know, puts me on the correct path to be like, okay, I need to do what I can with what I have, because not everybody has this. So I need to go as hard as I can with what tools and opportunity and resources that I do have. And I like all that. And I know it's a big answer, but all that, you know, together just it helps me just overcome any lows, man. Like, yeah.
I am very, very similar to you. When you said like gratitude, it hit a chord with me because like every single day I have a gratitude journal listing every single thing I'm grateful for. And like when
Wow.
I go to obstacles, like I just look at a journal, like look at my
Mhm.
life, like, oh, I am grateful for having this obstacle because I'm in this situation. I'm in America. My parents
Yeah.
sacrificed so much for me to be born here, and like I have all of these opportunities. And like having that little switch and change in perspective, like makes the obstacle less, and I could like overcome the obstacle, or I could overcome something. And like I think gratitude is so powerful, and it's actually kind of very
Yeah.
underrated. Not many people understand how
Yeah.
powerful it is. And like Gary Vee says,
Mhm.
it's too, like we should be grateful for being alive because it's like 1 in 400 trillion. That
That right there too.
probability, I still can't like grasp that probability. It's so big. But like being grateful for like
Big.
waking up every single morning should be enough to chase your dreams. And
Yeah.
that like getting to that level of self-awareness takes time, but once you reach that level, like you could do what you're doing. Like you could inspire other people, you could help other people, you could do whatever you want to do, like take that risks, be a little child. Like it comes down, in my opinion, it comes down to like being grateful for being alive.
That like I'll tell you right now, like man, COVID changed the economy, right?
Yeah.
Good, great for some people, bad for some people. For fitness, not good at all, dude. And like I went through, I'm like, dang, man, like lost some clients, had to change my structure of how I was training. Income was like shot to almost zero, right? And I'm like, I still got bills to pay, but it's like I can still get a job if I want to. No, not people. Some people can't do that. I can figure this out. I can start something. I can sell my sports cards. These options, man. Um, and like that right there. And even with the problems that I have, I know like somebody would love to trade problems with me. Like somebody's like, dude, that's all you have to worry about is paying your bills. And I just shut up. I just shut up about whatever I'm complaining about. So
It changes
yeah.
your perspective and helps you to stop complaining and being grateful for what you have. So
Yeah.
Next
Wait,
question.
real quick, where's your parents from?
Oh, my parents are from India. So
Were you
I
born in India too?
I was actually, funny story. So my mom was pregnant with me 2 months before I was born in America. So on the flight from India to America, she was pregnant with me. They didn't know if I was going to be born in India or there. They took a giant risk because they were moving like officially from India to America, and I was born in Chicago, like 2 months after
Got
they ended. So it was very iffy for them. They didn't like my dad had like secure a job here, and then like he took his wife and everything. So it was like very like transformative period. But like my mom always says like if I was meant to be born in America, and I take that as I'm very grateful that I'm an American citizen because I could
Yeah,
travel the world. I have like getting visas is easy for me
right,
because I'm a U.S. citizen. If I were in India, it would be a different situation.
right. Have you been to India several times?
I go to India every 1 or 2 years. I visit back and I see my family for sure.
Got it,
And
got
that
it.
also keeps me like very grateful for what I have and changes my
Yeah,
perspective
man.
every single time. Yeah.
Yeah, I know people that travel to India, and they talked about. I travel to different countries, and it's like people in America truly don't understand, man. Like we have poverty, and we have hard things, but in other countries, like sometimes that's all they like. There's some people are just stuck like that, man. That's what I'm talking about. Like, wow, I got to be born in 1991 in San Pablo, California. Like, it's crazy, man.
That
It's
lottery,
crazy.
like you already won the lottery.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
that is crazy. So next question I got goes back to your childhood. So like, what do you miss most about your childhood, about being a child that you wish that you could reintroduce to your current life right now?
Man, what do I miss? Dude, that's a good one. What do I miss most, man? Um, gosh, there's so much. Yeah, I loved hanging out with my brother, just being goofy. You know, it was good to see him this weekend. He hooked me up with this gear, his gym
I
gear.
like
That's why I'm
yeah,
wearing it.
yeah.
Like, yeah, yeah. Uh, man, I missed that. I missed being a kid with them and just like just just being a kid, man. Like you can't ever do that again at that level, that size, right? Um, you know, just seeing my mom just being younger, like I remember my mom was in her 40s, she's in her 60s now, like things like that, you know, I just miss those moments. Like, wow, my mom used to be younger and she's getting older, things like that, man, that we can't get time back. Um, yeah, man, I think that's really it. Other than that, everything else I still kind of do. I'm still goofy. I still like all my cartoons, things like that, comics, Disney. So, but those memories of like being with my brother, um, my mom, raising me every day, you know, like that stuff is you can't is I miss that. I do. I really do.
Yeah, like with memories, like whenever you look back in time and like imagine like trying to think about a memory, like I wish I could relive that. Like if I had a superpower, that would like kind of be my superpower to like go back in time and just like relive those moments. So I
Yeah.
could have it forever. But there's probably some downside to that, of course. But like relive those moments, like seeing like I also have a little brother too. I have a brother. Like we always like wrestle with each other,
Yeah.
like play around in the yard or something, doing something adventurous. Like
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
pirates one day or like Pokemon Trainers the next day or something random. And like having that creative freedom, that imagination and like
Yeah.
being in that like that comfort zone because like as a child like the only thing you're worried about is like there's no adult responsibilities, it's not like outside world, it's just your world. And like having
Yeah.
a safe space but like also being able to like explore and be as imaginative as possible in that safe space
Yeah.
is something like
Yeah.
I would miss from my childhood, of course.
Yeah. Oh, another thing I really miss too is man hanging out at my grandparents' house. Man, that was like there's nothing that can touch that. Disneyland, you know, traveling, just being with grandma and grandpa, just being a kid all summer, waking up, hanging out in the woods, hanging out with dogs.
Mm-hmm.
With my brother too, like both of us there all summer. Like it was, yeah, that's another one I really miss.
That's
So
family is very important.
yeah, man.
Next
Yeah.
question, next question I got. We are reaching like towards the end of the podcast. So I have just a couple more questions left for you. What is your
Mhm.
favorite childhood movie or book and why?
Favorite childhood movie and book. I love Little Rascals. You ever watch Little Rascals?
I know of it. I think like I
Yeah,
probably
put it in
have
your
seen
homework,
it.
man. That's your
Yeah.
homework. Nah, it's a great movie, dude. I love that movie. What else? Ninja Turtles was cool watching. Disney, I can't get over Disney movies. Disney movies are so awesome, dude. My books, I love Calvin and Hobbes. I just remember like being a sixth grader, fifth grader, just reading Calvin and Hobbes book all the time. Like part of my friends inspired me to start drawing comics when I was in class in fourth grade and just not paying attention to the lecture. I would be drawing comics. Part of that was because of my friends, but also part of it was because of Calvin and Hobbes. I love that the imaginative part of it, the art, the humor. That's like my favorite childhood book of all time. And we used to read like Captain Underpants too. That was a goofy one. And I don't think there's really any other books that really stand out. What other movies? Yeah, that's really it. Toy Story is like I remember the first time I popped in the Toy Story VHS, and that's like the first Pixar movie.
Yeah.
And how vivid that color was, and even as a kid, I knew that this movie, the technology was different than any other movie I ever saw. Like I was like, this is something new, and I want more of it. I can't get enough of watching this. So, yeah, man, Toy Story is probably like one of my favorite.
My favorite movie is also Toy Story, and I also like read lots of Calvin and Hobbes books too.
Do you? Oh, man.
I love it. Yeah.
Big buddies. The Calvin Hobbes is nice.
Yeah, because I follow like a Twitter account and I follow an Instagram account where they post it every single day, and like I always see it every day, and like I'm always inspired by it because
I'm the same
so
way.
imaginative, so little child, and I love that. So
yeah. Do you follow the hashtag Calvin and Hobbes on Instagram?
I do not, but
do that, man. Yeah. You know you can follow hashtags on Instagram and like you'll pull up stuff that's tagged. Yeah, so I see like real cool stuff like fan art that comes up, and it's cool, man. It's really cool.
So one last question I have for you, Jason, is if you could, for our listeners here, if you could give them like one piece of advice or one thing that you learned from your own life, whether it be related to your childhood or your fitness journey or whatever thing, what would that one like piece of advice would you give to our listeners?
Piece of advice, man, is like we touched on it, action is everything. Those three words, action is everything. You know, you're going to be scared. You're not going to have all the answers. You know, people are going to tell you not to do this or you can't do this. And I'm sure you probably get this. You probably in every podcast, like people all probably always say this. I don't know. But I'm definitely saying action is everything. People are going to try to push you the other direction. Believe in yourself and just do it. Like, don't think you need to know everything. Don't think you need to have all the resources. We're doing this podcast from Zoom and my phone. I don't know if you're doing it from your phone. Like that's like that alone right there is enough to really make things happen for yourself. And take action. Please take action. Whatever it is you want to do in life, try it. Even if you fail, it's all good. It's all good. So that's my advice.
And if people want to find you, like what are your social media handles? Where could they like connect with you?
Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, at Jason WTTW. You can find me on LinkedIn, Jason Richardson Albini. Same thing, Facebook, Jason Richardson Albini, ALBINI. Snapchat, Jason WTTW. And I think it's all the social media platforms. There's so many, man. I think I get them all.
That's great. And then
and I do have a podcast too called Kicking It with Jason. So you can find me there. You can leave reviews, check out some episodes. Kicking It with Jason. No G at Kicking It, just Kicking It with Jason. Play on words with our martial arts stuff, right? Kicking it, hanging out. So
I like that. So for our listeners, thank you, Jason, for being a podcast guest. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. And for the listeners, if you enjoyed this episode and want to hear more, you could follow us on Spotify and subscribe and rate to us on Apple Podcasts. And we will see you guys next time.